Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Penguin panel portion of the Jambar Sports Extra. I'm John Ostapowitz alongside Will Anderson and Scott Tanner, and what an historic week it has been for YSU sports. Most notably, there was one team that did set a new record, and one, they kept a top team in the FCS close down to the wire. Scott, would you like to talk more about that team?
The number 18 Youngstown State Penguins nearly shocked the number 2 team in the FCS on Saturday. Taking the defending national champs down to the wire at Stambaugh Stadium, Zach Flesch has the story.
A packed house at Stambaugh Stadium watched Youngstown State go toe-to-toe with the number 2 team in the nation, South Dakota State. The Penguins came up swinging. Redshirt junior Bo Brungard found senior Max Tomczak for a 23-yard touchdown to open the scoring, then added a 4-yard rushing touchdown to make it 14-0 early in the second quarter. Brungard ripped off a 74-yard run before senior Andrew Lastovka drilled a 29-yard field goal to give YSU a 17-7 lead. After the game, Coach Phillips keyed in on some missed opportunities by the Penguins.
A football game that I thought we left a lot of points on the board in that first half, knew that could come back to hurt us. In reality is this hurts because I feel we beat ourselves.
The Jackrabbits took control in the third quarter, scoring 3 straight touchdowns to lead 28-17. But the Penguins fought back late. Brungard connected with Tomczak for 2 more scores, including one with 38 seconds left to pull within 5. The 2-point try came up short, and South Dakota State held on to win 35-30. Brungard accounted for all 4 of YSU's touchdowns, throwing for 275 yards and rushing for 130. His 4th game this season with over 100 yards in both. Tomczak's 8 catches for 92 yards moved him into second on YSU's all-time receiving yards list and set a new school record for most Missouri Valley Football Conference touchdown receptions. Despite the performance, Brungard says he's focused on North Dakota.
Fix it, and so the guys in there, we're going to hold our heads high, and then we're going to have a good week of practice, and we're going to attack it going forward, and we're not going to sit and linger on this.
Next up, the Penguins will hit the road for a matchup against the number 15 University of North Dakota on October 11th in Grand Forks, North Dakota. Kickoff is set for 4 p.m. and will be televised on ESPN+.
Now, it really is unfortunate that YSU started their conference play losing, but they are showing very good possibility for the future. Their offensive line against Towson gave up 10 quarterback pressures. But this game against South Dakota, they gave up 0 pressures. That's great for the team. That's great for the quarterback and running backs. How do you guys feel going into the future, up against conference play? How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, so the MVFC is one of the premier FCS conferences. A lot of great programs. We have 4 ranked teams, including YSU. They played one of them already in South Dakota State. They're going to have to play North Dakota. They're a tough team as well. So as good as YSU's start has been, they're going to have to clean things up and play a complete game if they want to continue competing in conference.
Well, here's a hot topic for you, especially with YSU, again, hitting the road for 2 straight games, one against North Dakota, one against Illinois State. I see them going 0-3 in conference play. Again, they have not won in a dome, and they have to go to the Auris Center. They have not won inside a dome since October 28, 1999 was the last time YSU won inside of a dome, and that was a Unidome, which they have not found success in recent years, but now they have to go on the road. North Dakota almost took down Rutgers at the beginning of the year, 34-31. There is a way for them to go 0-3, and they have a harder game against Murray State. That could be one they win at home, but we'll have to see how that tide eventually will turn for this team. And again, one of those teams who themselves turned the tide against Northern Kentucky, the YSU volleyball team, was able to split a 2-game match, especially here at home in that 2-game series. Jambar Sports editor Marissa Massano has more.
The Penguins made history at Zidon Family Arena in Beagley Center on October 4th by defeating the Norse for the first time in program history. In the opening match on October 3rd, YSU was swept in straight sets by scores of 25-23, 25-20, and 25-20. In the rematch, the team won in 5 sets, and Abby Householder recorded a career-best 31 kills. The senior is now tied for 4th most kills in program history and tied for 9th most by any Division I player this season. Head coach Riley Jarrett praised Householder's historic performance.
They just couldn't stop her. Everything Abby was doing, they just didn't make great adjustments for her. They couldn't slow her down. They couldn't stop her. So we kept giving her the ball. And I think that was a really great game for Abby. I texted her after, talked to her after. That was a great win for her senior year at home with beating them for the first time in program history, like you mentioned. I think our freshman setter, Cam Blizniak, put Abby in a lot of great spots to be able to have Abby have that successful day. And yeah, Abby was just really on, and we were really blessed with that.
The Norse took the first set and second set by scores of 25-21 and 25-20. Jarrett shared what the team's mentality was as they prepared for a decisive third set.
We go into the locker room in between the second and third sets because in volleyball you get a little more time, and it was just a lot of motivation, like, hey, reverse sweeps happen all the time. We can do this. We're motivated. I think they really responded well to that out of that second set, like kind of little timeout we had there. And just really they were determined to win. And it took a full team effort. We had a lot of people step up, and I think they were really just bought in.
In the third set, Householder recorded 9 kills on 11 attempts, and the Penguins won 25-21. The Penguins found themselves trailing late in the fourth set, but a key block was able to stop Northern Kentucky's scoring spree. The Penguins responded with 4 consecutive points and 3 consecutive kills from Householder to set up the set point. The Penguins completed the comeback and took the fourth set 25-23. In the fifth and final set, the Norse scored first. This would be the only time the Penguins trailed in the set. The Norse were able to fend off 2 match points and tied it at 14. Householder's 31st kill reclaimed the lead, and the team followed with the match winner. The Penguins completed the reverse sweep and handed NKU its first Horizon League loss of the season. With the win, Youngstown State improves to 2-3 in Horizon League play. Today, the team begins its road trip, starting with back-to-back matches against Wright State University. Jarrett expects a high-level matchup with the Raiders.
RGA played for Wright State, so I think it's going to be a lot of motivation this week with our players and just the confidence that we can beat them. We can go in there. We know they're going to be very tough. We know that they're going to come out and play the best they can on their side, so it's really about focusing on us, focusing in the Horizon League that anything can happen, and we tell our girls that a lot on any given day. It could be any team's day that they come out with the win, so just really focusing on what we need to work on with our game cleaning up this week and carrying that momentum into this weekend.
The first game will be available for streaming on ESPN Plus at 6 p.m. For Jambar TV, I'm Marissa Masano.
My goodness, Abby Householder, let's have a day, especially here at YSU. Guys, what did you see from her, especially now that she's in her senior campaign and in that 2-game series against NKU?
I mean, Householder, she's killing it 31 times to be exact. I mean, she's really showing how she's stepping up as a senior leader, and she's showing the freshmen who are getting plenty amount of minutes how it's done and how you really need to play and how important it is to her. Will, you got any more?
Yeah, so Abby Householder, we've talked about her all season long. I said before that I think she was going to get first team. Right now she's on track for that player of the year potentially for the conference. But it is a hard conference. We mentioned NKU. This is the 19-0 NKU was first YSU before this first win for them. It's all a hard conference in general. We have giants, just like in the MVFCS for football. The Horizon League has some great teams in volleyball play. And while the team has started off hot, great start for so far, they're going to have to continue keeping that up and continue having Abby Householder play at the level she's at so that if they want to compete in the conference.
Well, Will, it's a little bit more than just Abby Householder. This team is working as a unit. Taya Nordman in the front. There's a lot of tall girls on this team. Taya Nordman, 6'2", the freshman, and Ava Stratton, who's 6'2". Very massive, especially Nia Lester, 6'2", Abby Householder, 6 foot, and Gabriella Machine at 6 foot. They've all, especially Abby Householder, who has, again, almost 250 kills on the season. That is a lot. In Wright State, they're going to be a tall task for YSU, especially what they were able to do. Wright State, the Raiders, took down The Ohio State University in a tournament. That is a large task for them to do. YSU, of course, has Sam Ott, graduate student from the Raiders, so look for maybe YSU to take one of those match series. But, of course, we'll find out, especially when we return right here on, of course, the Penguin Panel portion of the Jambar Sports Extra.
We know you hear it all the time. Why Youngstown State University? Why go to a school in the Mahoning Valley of northeastern Ohio, surprisingly beautiful as that may be? Why live on a campus that sits on the edge of the Rust Belt, historic and inspiring as that may be? In short, why choose Youngstown State? Here's why. Because when it comes to engineering, medicine, sports, business, and the skills you need to take your place in the future, we take a back seat to nobody because you can afford us. And we will afford you the opportunity to build the future you want and the life you desire. Why Youngstown State? Because we care about you, your success, and our future. Together. Youngstown State University. Now you know why.
The Youngstown State men's and women's swim and dive teams opened their season at Beagley Natatorium against Oakland University October 3rd and 4th. It was an impressive season opener for the Penguins with multiple first-place finishes and program records set at the meet. On the swimming side, the men's 200 medley relay made up of senior Quinn Senor, junior Adrian Andre Moreno, and sophomores Jacob Gramer and Noah Smith broke the pool record at 1 minute and 28.39 seconds, while the women's relay finished second. The Penguins posted multiple individual wins as well, while for diving, freshman Rafael Surrey-Comer set a program record in the 1-meter dive with a score of 305.7 and won the 3-meter with 304.2, while junior Hannah Held swept both women's dives. The Golden Grizzlies ultimately outscored the Gwins 150 to 130 for the women and 167 to 114 for the men. Despite the loss, it was still a home opener to be proud about. The Penguins then headed to the Akron Zips Classic October 10th and 11th. Yeah, so great start for the Penguins. Multiple records broken. They're looking to add on to that this season. Scott has more.
Yeah, well, there's really realistically nothing to look down on. They were able to set many personal records. It's just they were going up against an Oakland team that won a championship. That's a really tough thing to go up against, and it's nothing to be sad about. It's something to grow on. They're happy with what they can do, what they have been doing, and there's more to come from the season.
Well, both teams actually for YSU has had significant losses, and that's the big thing as well. But to keep it as close as they did against a team, again, that did win the Horizon League men and women's swim and dive championships just a couple months ago. But again, for the women's team, they did lose Miriam Frost. She was the 2025 Women's Horizon League diver or swim and diver of the year. So to lose her to graduation is huge. But on the men's side, you lose 3 record centers. You lose Dominic Bono, Gavin Webb, and Cody Till. All 3 of those guys have their names still on plaques in the Beagley Natatorium. So again, to lose those key guys, but you also have a couple guys such as Zachary Lau, Jacob Grammer, like you said, and James Slezer. They all return. We also have a transfer addition as well from Wyoming, I do believe. So to have him and them not only accelerate their swim and dive, campaign here at YSU, but even to add the transfer helps tremendously when they're trying to go up against an Oakland team, IU Indy, Milwaukee. All of those teams are very prolific. Not to mention Oakland, top 20 in the NCAA in swim and dive.
Yeah, and that transfer, Quinn Senor from Wyoming, he was the Horizon League Men's Swimmer of the Week. We also had the Women's Diver of the Week in Hannah Held. So they're hoping to continue swimming and diving as best they can, and they hope to go into this next invitational and the season as a whole and compete.
Well, you want to talk about another continuation. How about as fall sports continue to reach another level of compliance? Of course, there's another conference who is embracing its division. The Ohio Valley Conference is one of those conferences, which was built in 1948 and headquartered in Brentwood, Tennessee. And it's showcasing its student athletes off with media exposure and student-first initiatives. The league now includes 11 Division I programs with 5 affiliate members across several sports. The conference recently re-upped a 6-year deal with ESPN so fans can continue to stream basketball games. Associate Commissioner of Strategic Communications of the OVC, Kyle Schwartz, said it's great to showcase all teams.
We have linear TV exposure, which is fantastic. Our basketball tournaments, always semifinals and finals are always on some linear station. So it is really everything to our schools. There is money obviously involved, so we benefit from the partnership, and it helps us tell our story. So it is immensely important to us.
The conference has continued to showcase student athletes that excel within the classroom. The commissioner's honor roll for those who achieve a GPA of 3.2 or higher, while students who achieve 4.0, of course, receive an academic medal of honor. As the conference hopes to continue competing at a high level, they remain committed to giving student athletes a great experience. You want to talk about the OVC, there is a lot of, especially the teams that compete at a high level day in and day out. Especially there's 4 teams that are a part of the Horizon League, which started in 2022 of that academic year, where 4 OVC teams partnered up with the Horizon League for just men's tennis. Of course, Southern Indiana is one of those teams who competes at a high level every single year, and YSU plays all 4 of those teams in the South Conference. But, guys, you personally, what have you seen from the OVC, whether it be Tennessee Tech, SEMO is another one of the schools that compete at a high level. What do you see from the OVC?
Yeah, they've had teams compete not only in conference play, lots of teams spread out across sports. It's not one school that's dominant in everything. They're very spread out in their division we talked about earlier, but they're able to compete at a high level against not only other conference schools, but also other NCAA schools in general. They've been in March Madness tournaments. They've been in football playoffs. So they're a good conference that has strong schools that can compete with the best.
And what's really great for them is that they're going to start getting more TV broadcast on there. They're going to be showing off how well they could do because they really want to see if they're far away from home. They want to show that their parents how well they're playing. So you're going to see the best out of them.
Well, you want to talk about the best. How about that championship exposure? Whenever a team gets to go to the big tournament, as everyone says, especially in March Madness, everyone's hope, especially in basketball, football is the same, where you go to the FCS tournament and you have an opportunity to go against some of those other schools. But in March Madness, when you look at the men's side, SIUE going up against Houston, of course, they lost 78-48. And when you look at the women's side for the OVC, when they had Tennessee Tech go up against the #1 team in the nation, against South Carolina in the Gamecocks, when you lose 108-48, yes, that is a tremendous loss. But you had the opportunity to be seen on TBS. So that itself, when you get to be on cable television and have the opportunity to be seen by more teams than ESPN would provide, is an even bigger conference prestige when you look at it. But guys, any closing remarks here, especially from the OVC, Horizon League, Missouri Valley Football Conference, or just YSU sports as a whole?
I can't wait to see what the season continues hold. Conference plays heating up for all the sports. Can't wait to see how they do in, hopefully, conference tournaments.
There's much more for the future to hold. It's going to be very exciting for the future.
Well, we know the Penguins, they love the ice, but sports seasons, they're about to heat up. Of course, I've been John Ostapowitz alongside Will Anderson and Scott Tanner. We'll see you next time on the Penguin Panel portion of the Jambar Sports Extra.
Support for Jambar TV is provided in part by the YSU Foundation and the Jane F. Lamb Charitable Foundation. Thank you.